Good evening, everyone at home watching our proceedings here at the Northglenn City Council candidate meeting. I'm Marge Innes. I'm the Voter Service Chair for the Adams County League of Women Voters, and our mission is to help voters know what they're voting on. So, and along that line, there are some pamphlets on, these are available in libraries too and city halls, on the ballot issues. There are 2 ballot issues on the ballot. Okay. I'm going to ask you, the first question will be to introduce yourself, tell who you are, and tell why you want to be on City Council. So we'll start with Preston.
Wonderful. I'm Preston Evans. I was born at St. Anthony's North in Northglenn, and I have been a lifelong Northglenn resident. I'm passionate about the city, and I would like to do whatever I could to help keep it a beautiful and wonderful place to live. I went through Adams 12 schools and was fortunate enough and worked hard enough to get a Better Scholarship, which allowed me to attend the University of Denver, where I obtained a master's degree in public policy analysis. So what I bring to the table is passion for Northglenn, knowledge of Northglenn, and skill at analyzing policy and asking the right questions, making the right decisions. I really value the League of Women Voters putting on this event. When I was growing up, I had a single mom. She worked 2 jobs, and she didn't have time to vote. So I think that things like League of Women Voters, getting this knowledge out there, getting this access out there, and having Northglenn with mail-in ballots, every inch of access is a mile of democracy. So I really value this event, and I would like to do everything in my power to help keep Northglenn beautiful and amazing. My background is policy analysis, not politicking, so I will cede the remainder of my time. My goal is to do the job and do a good job of it, and not try to be boastful, just to try to do a good job for Northglenn and analyzing policy, making the right choices. Thank you.
Okay. Andrew.
Thank you. My name is Andrew Thompson. I grew up here in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. Graduated from high school in Aurora. Went to college in Fort Collins, went to law school in Denver, and decided to raise my family here in Northglenn. We've been here for 6 years. My oldest daughter is 6 years old. My youngest daughter is 3 years old. My wife moved here from Ohio to be here in Colorado because it's a wonderful place to live. I'm running for city council for a lot of the reasons why a lot of people run for city council is we have a vision for this city, and we want to see it through, for a lot of us, for the children that we have. We're trying to build a city that we might not even fully appreciate, but it's something that we're trying to leave to our children and our grandchildren. I like this place a lot. My neighbors were very welcoming when we moved in. Some of my neighbors are currently my best friends. And what I think I bring to the table is a career as a lawyer that has given me some skills in analyzing problems, solving problems, working with people, debating people. And it's just something that I've honed over a career of about 15 years. And I feel like there's a way, despite that, throughout my career, I've helped hundreds of people, dozens and dozens of families. There's a way of making a bigger impact. And I think I'm ready for that part of my career. And so I'm throwing my hat in the ring to run for city council and apply those talents there.
Okay. Jody.
Hi, I'm Jody Roper, and I am a mom. I'm an educator, and I've been a resident of Northglenn for more than 20 years. I've raised my family here, and I'm still raising my family here. I'm also a proud principal of assistant principal of an Adams 12 school, and I've really watched Northglenn become and maintain this amazing community atmosphere. There are so many things that I love about Northglenn. If you've read anything about me, I grew up coming to the Northglenn Mall as a child. My dad would bring us to Fur's Cafeteria, which was an amazing treat. I also played soccer growing up. I played soccer on the fields of Northglenn, and the best part was going to the Dairy Queen that was in the Gaylord Center off of Washington Street and having a treat there. And now I have had the ability to watch my children grow up here and continue to grow and thrive here. honestly, living here for 20 plus years, I haven't had many complaints that I love so much about our city. But then over the past few months, I did hear some things that made me concerned. And as a woman, as a mother, as an educator, I knew that my voice mattered, and I knew that there were people in my community who wanted their voices heard as well. So I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to work tirelessly for our city. I'm a compassionate listener. I believe in collaboratively working together, and I believe in this position you cannot come with just your own agenda. You have to be able to look at both sides and represent all of Ward 4, all of Northglenn, because everyone's voice matters.
Okay. Earlier, we were talking about the financial situation in Northglenn, and I don't know if I'm sure you're aware of this. Tim Long stated that Northglenn will be going negative in its fund level in a few years. The rec center and the justice center could be repossessed. New employees have increased by 100 in the past 10 years, so that now the standard of living, now there are at least 100 more employees than there were, and the population has not increased that much. And all of this debt was taken on without a vote of the people in the form of a certificate of participation. What are your feelings about this? And I'll start with Jody.
I was able to take a look at the budget that was proposed and shown to council on Monday evening. As a longtime resident of Northglenn and as someone who leads a building within a school district here within our community, budgets are important. Of course, we have to be fiscally responsible. It's our responsibility to be responsible to our constituents, our citizens, and our community. However, I think our city has really done a great job of aligning themselves with a strategic plan. How are we prioritizing and how are we benefiting our community as a whole? How are we prioritizing safety, youth advocacy, our unhoused individuals? How are we making sure that everyone's needs are met, but also being responsible? Of course, we can't go willy-nilly with our expenses, as none of us can. And I think one thing that definitely I've learned in my experience as a leader through COVID and through the past few years is we have to be willing to be flexible. We have to be willing to make those hard decisions when those times come. But ultimately, what's best for our community, what's best for our city and our children, they're our future, and that's what matters.
Okay. Andrew.
Thank you. What we heard today from Mr. Long concerning the financial condition of the city was a bit eye-opening. But I'll remind everybody that what we also heard was that was a doom and gloom kind of a picture. Obviously, part of being on the city council is getting to the bottom of that, and that's always been the intention with my involvement. I strongly suspect, because we're just human, that we have put in place certain projects that we thought were important and are no longer important. We might have projects that we'd like to do that are underfunded. Balancing that all out, analyzing all that. That's a skill that I would bring, and I actually look forward to doing. It's housekeeping. That said, I also think that the doom and gloom picture, it can be distracting. I think everyone would agree that one thing that Northglenn would benefit from, whether we're in a financially dire situation or not, is a culture that continues to promote small and medium-sized businesses. My focus would be that, and it would seem if we have an issue with our financial future, that could be part of the solution. Auditing, review, budgeting would definitely be other parts of it. But if everything is, as also promised by other people who spoke today, if we're on the level and everything is actually going in a positive direction, we still would benefit from encouraging small business growth, drawing medium-sized businesses in. That is the primary thing that I am interested in. I would love to develop relationships with companies, show them what Northglenn has to offer, and induce them to come.
Okay. Preston?
I believe that the two pillars of government are responsibility and empathy. Responsibility, making sure that you have a balanced budget, making sure that you are not spending money frivolously. But empathy, making sure that you are spending money appropriately, that underserved communities in need are receiving those dollars, especially communities who maybe don't have representation, whose identity is not validated. I know that there have been some recent events with the Northglenn City Council where individuals in certain communities did not feel that identity recognized and did not feel that validated. So when it comes to the financial situation, I think that both of those need to be considered heavily. What gives me faith is I was at a city council meeting a couple of months ago where they were discussing revenue from water usage, sprinklers, et cetera. We'd had a very rainy couple of months, and so revenue was down from projections. The fact that that is being monitored and tracked on the budget says a lot to me about how our government, our local city council, is actively monitoring that situation. As Mr. Thompson said, I don't believe that this is a doom and gloom situation worthy of fear-mongering. I think this is a situation where responsible, level-headed people in positions of power to make the right decision will make the right decision if they ask the right questions. That's a big part of what my master's degree was making sure that you are able to balance a budget, that you can evaluate different stakeholders, that you know the values of different things in a community, different services, and different things that the city council is offering. When I was in my master's program, actually, if you've renewed your car recently, you might have been offered a $29 pass to go to all the state parks locally. That was an idea I generated in a group project when we were working with the Colorado State Parks Society, or Colorado State Parks. That was an idea that I came up with, and I'm glad to see that they implement it. I don't know that I can take credit for it 8 years later, but I think that creative solutions combining empathy and responsibility is the way we move forward without causing any concern for our constituency.
Perfect. Last question. What are some of the things you might want to change in the Northglenn government, and why do you enjoy living in Northglenn?
Good question. I think that the reasons that I enjoy living in Northglenn I could go on about for far longer than the 2 minutes that have been allotted to me. Whether that's burritos at Tamale Kitchen or picking up a board game at Advantage Games, I am a fervent supporter of our local businesses from across the gamut. And so I think that Northglenn has as was said earlier, a small town with big vibes. And I think that that's very true. I've lived in other cities, and when you wake up on a Saturday morning and have to run errands, it doesn't feel that bad in Northglenn. You're going to interact with friendly people. You're going to have nice streets. There's clean water in our pipes. There's clean air in our houses. I think that there's a lot that Northglenn has that other places that I've lived just simply don't. And it's stuff that it's easy to take for granted unless you really look at it. I think that a lot of the local events that are put on are a huge boon to our community. The food truck day that Northglenn puts on. I have a friend who lives in Littleton who drove up for that. Had never heard of Northglenn, but knows about Northglenn now. So I think that the government does a great job. The city council does a great job of making this a great place to live, and I would love to be a part of that. As far as what needs to be changed, at the city council meetings that I've been to, I feel that too much time goes into friendly discussions of what maybe a city councilman or a city council member has done with their time or in their official capacity. And I feel like about a third of the time on a council meeting goes into politicking and 2/3 then into policy analysis. And I would like to see that shifted closer to 90-10. We are paid by the people to analyze policy and make good decisions. And if we are spending our time talking about all the good that we've done, we're not doing that. I would like to trust that my government is doing good, and in the seat of the government, I would like to just simply do the work, do a good job, and help keep Northglenn a place that has so many things to love.
Oh, very good. Andrew.
Thank you. My understanding is that you were asking about what we would change about government.
You want me to repeat it?
Let's do that.
Okay. What are some things you might want to change in Northglenn government, and why do you enjoy living in Northglenn?
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's start very easily about what I like about living in Northglenn. When I first moved to Northglenn, it was my number one priority to befriend everyone on my block. Because at the time that I moved here, I had a 3-month-old daughter, and I knew that when she got to be about the age she is now, 6 years old, that I wanted her to have the experience that I had growing up, where I could leave the house, ride my bike, walk to the park, and that my neighbors would follow me along the way and keep an eye on me. They know who I was, they knew where I came from, and in that way, my daughter was part of a community that was within her field of vision. And I got that. If you were to visit my block today, you would find that just about every one of my neighbors has my sign in their front yard asking me to be a city council member. And the ones that don't, I have to apologize to because I know they want one. But the things that I would change is that experience that I get, oddly enough, is a privilege because there have been some remarks that have occurred here that are disturbing. And it's what's been said in council, what's been said by council members, it's the behavior of certain council members, but even I have a neighbor on my block who has just moved in, celebrated her pride by hanging flags, and after being confronted by someone walking down the street who extended a middle finger at her, has pulled that away. She deserves to enjoy Northglenn as much as anybody else.
Okay. Jody.
Of course, every business, every community, every family has opportunities for growth. And I think, as my colleagues have mentioned, I think we all are concerned about some of the things that have occurred in Northglenn over the past few months. I love this city. I love this city passionately. I want us to be on 9 News for the amazing improvements at the skate park, for the state of the city, for all the amazing things we're doing. Not because of the bickering, not because of the down talking to our citizens, to our neighbors, to our family. As my colleagues have said, everyone deserves a voice and everyone deserves to belong and feel valued here in Northglenn. And that's not happening for everyone. So that's definitely something that I would work passionately to change. As far as what I love, I think I've already said, I love so much about our community. I love that we are a community. I love that my children call our next door neighbor Grandma. Hi, Miss Judy. I love that we shovel each other's driveways. I love that we're there for each other. Even for the people we may not know, we pick up and we do great things for each other. We pitch in when we need to. I love that I brought my children to the teddy bear picnic when they were little, and I love that they have those memories of Northglenn will be with them forever. I love our historic buildings, St. Stephen's Church, Deza Estates. Those are things that are part of our legacy. And I want our legacy going forward to be positive, to be something that we are all proud of and that we can stand behind.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You, all 3 of you. That's all the questions I've got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to the listeners and viewers at home. We really appreciate your participation.